Latinas hate passport bros. Is that true? Well, today we discuss.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
We already know right now that some of the capitals in Latin America are getting gentrified by Western presence, especially American presence. Places like Mexico City, like Cancun, like Medellin, the passport bro hub of Latin America, Buenos Aires, and many places, and also some of the Brazilian hubs. And right now I'm getting reports and content and information that many of the Western presence in Western individuals that are living or spending quite a great deal of time in Latin America, and some of these Latin American hubs are becoming persona non grata on such countries. And also we have to talk about the passport bros. By the way, I'm cool with that. However, the passport bros are getting a bad reputation in Latin America, especially in places like Medellin. According to the information of what I'm getting, I'm talking on the social media, the social things, is that passport bros first are being confused with sex tourists. That I don't think is the case, but they are getting confused on that particular regard. And also they are seen as low quality Western citizens. Those are not my words. Those are what I'm reading and watching, the reports, the intel that I'm getting, outside looking in. And also according to the Latinas, and especially, Latina women that are not pleased with that particular situation. From what I'm getting from these, Latinas that are complaining about the situation of the passport bros, they are saying also that these people, I'm not saying this is the case, this is just the information, don't shoot the messenger, is that they are lackluster individuals in their home country, and that's why they have to go to places like Medellin, for instance. And I don't agree with that particular regard. However, yet again, when you have large movement of people from one place to another, you are going to get racism and xenophobic situations that usually are from Latinos migrating to the United States, and you get, the typical Fox News watcher, something like, oh, they're taking jobs, they're sending the best people. Well, right now we're getting the situation on reverse. Latinos complaining of the presence of, gringos in Latin America. And I think in both cases is something it's an injustice, is something that is unfair, but it is what it is. And as I like to defend migrants in Western nations, the legal ones that do the right thing, and also complain about the terrible bureaucracy regarding migration of the United States and Western Europe and that kind of thing, also I want to defend the Westerns going to those places in Latin America, and actually including Venezuela. But in Venezuela, we don't have that narrative, by the way, so that's a good thing. But in Colombia and Mexico and other places in Latin America, you already are having such conversation. And I want to defend right now the Americans and Canadians and Europeans and Australians going to Latin America, because most of these people are great people, sort of dear people, and a handful of outliers are the ones creating mayhem on such cities. Now, if you're watching this and you are a quote-unquote passport bro, or you are planning to become a passport bro, you have to be aware that in most places in Latin America, outside of Venezuela, well, Venezuela works differently. We don't have any racism or xenophobia here, but in Colombia, you have a lot. And also in Mexico. But mostly right now is in Colombia, especially on Medellin. And what is going on is that first you have to be aware that there are first in these very conquered places in Latin America of Westerns, you have like gangs and particular criminals targeting this particular movement of not only passport bros, I'm talking Western visitors. Overall, you are seeing these cases of scopolamine and, the drug in order to get you and rob you and sometimes, unlead you. So you have to be careful on that. That doesn't happen in Venezuela, by the way. Funny thing though. Well, but Mexico and Colombia is happening a lot. So you have to be very careful. And also, my advice that if you are on these particular places, and most of the time, first, please try to learn the language. I'm not saying that you have to become fluent, but at least put some effort on that. At least learn a few words and learn about the culture, because the more culture that you have and the more knowledge that you have, you are more protected, you are more secure, you avoid a bunch of risks, so you are less likely to be affected for this particular targeted dangerous situations like the scopolamine. The other issue that you have to be aware of, that I know regarding if you are dating over there in Mexico, Colombia, places like that, is that over there, I mean, I know that your market, your United States or Canada or Australia, those are terrible markets. That's, to be fair. There are beautiful American and Australian women, I know, but let's be honest, it's a terrible market. It's supply and demand, and just a handful of beautiful American women and get most of the attention. That kind of thing. Okay, we already know the market dynamics. However, in Colombia, in places, basically most in Latin America, the people are more impoverished compared to the United States. We are good on that. However, we have a handful of people in Latin America, and Venezuela also not the exception, is that you have a handful of people that are very, 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 very rich. I'm talking millionaires, some cases billionaires, and real millionaires. This is something that happens a lot in the United States. You have a bunch of millionaires that they are what I call the paper millionaires. People that, of course, are bona fide millionaires, but what happens is most of their net worth is tied to their house, the value of their house, the equity on their house, and also their 401k and IRA and that kind of thing. So in Colombia, in places like Colombia, for instance, that doesn't happen. You have millionaires that are true millionaires, not only about their net worth on their houses and that kind of thing, they have money to spend. And remember, in Latin America, the people that they can spend, they spend a lot. They are ballers. So if you try to lead with money, it's going to first lead you to trouble. And also, these particular women, especially the baddies in, let's say, Medellin, the paisa baddies, I love me some paisa women, by the way. These particular women already saw money. They have seen private planes and yachts and penthouse suites, things like that. So try not to lead with money. Try to lead with skills, with value, in order to integrate to the community, and you're going to get a great ROI for your passport bro experience. And the last thing, this is the most important thing. Yet again, usually when, let's say, the Westerns visit, gentrify a Latin American capital, let's say Mexico City or Medellin. This is mostly about Medellin. Most of the bad news I'm getting it for Medellin, by the way. Also Mexico City a lot. And a handful of cases every now and then. Very good. Now, something that I'm seeing right now is that, United States, they are not sending their best people. I have to say it. I mean, most of the Americans and Europeans that go to Latin America, cool people, great people, sort of the air people, but also you have outliers, let's say 1 or 2%. They are not very well behaved, not very well cultured, nothing about the language. They are not socially assertive, especially for Latin America. In Latin America, people are more socially assertive, so you have to be careful with that. So my advice for you, you, the good old American or European passport bro in a place like Medellin, for instance, I mean, most likely you are a person of value, a person with skills and knowledge and that kind of thing. So try to do a good networking. Especially, I know that your first instinct is going to be friends with another expat in Latin America. I mean, in Medellin or Mexico City, a place like that. Very good on that. Nothing against that. Actually, it's a good networking opportunity. But try to disregard the people that act, that go on a weekend, they don't know anything about the culture, and these kind of people are the ones, the less sophisticated, let's say from your own nationality, let's say you're an American, those are the ones that are going to get you in trouble. And if you associate with these kind of people, you might get involved on a random situation that can affect you, your finance, and your personal safety. So when you are in Latin America, try to screen a lot try to screen a lot your network over there, both from expats, these undesirable fellow countrymen that you might have on the country that don't have the culture, anything like that. If you are watching this and you're still not having the experience, try to learn and research a lot about the culture of the country that you're arriving, Colombia, Mexico, a place like that, because that's going to take you places. It's going to save you money on the long run, by the way. And it's going to help you avoid unnecessary circumstances. And lastly, please be aware when you are, let's say, using or you are on a situation of recreational substance, to put it like that, and that kind of issue, or do not engage on illegal activities, something that I know that sounds basic and sounds very intuitive, but please be safe for yourself regarding involving in such situation. And the other thing is, try not to act as the typical tourist, because in Latin America, we can see an American tourist, we can spot him from a mile, the way that they dress, the way that they speak, their body languages, that kind of thing. Actually, I read something that the CIA has a manual for, rookie agents of the CIA, that Americans act like this, like this, like this, and we have to train you to not do this because you're gonna get spot on your first mission abroad. This is just a funny random thing. So please beware on that. Try not to act and go to the typical tourist traps, because that's where they target these particular people. And lastly, regarding dating over there in Latin America, especially in Colombia, yeah, I know the Paisa women are good women also, they have some, let's say, dubious tendencies over there. But here's the issue in order to be safe. When you see a situation, I know that the Colombian market is way better than, for instance, the American market. That's a certainty. However, when you see a situation where it's too good to be true, most likely that will be the case. It's not true at all. So beware on those particular situations. Because most women, especially on Medellin, most women in Colombia and Mexico, especially in Medellin, they're already seeing a high status successful American, blue eyes, like a Chad or like a Tyrone, something like that. They already seen them. So it's not a novelty for such women to see a man like that, a typical, beautiful Caucasian American, or a Nubian, Chad Tyrone, something like that. So they already seen those kind of men. So you won't be a novelty with your mind and with your skill set. And if you cannot act on predictable ways, that is the way that you're going to stand out over there in Latin America and avoid these typical, situations in Medellin with scopolamine and that kind of thing. Just, this is just a public message in order to say to you, passport bro or future passport bro, to take care of yourself.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again, and have a nice day.